A sharply dressed man walks into Judge Caprio's courtroom, carrying himself with the air of someone who believes he's the smartest person in the room. His tailored suit, designer watch, and luxury car parked outside suggest a man used to getting his way, and confident he'll do so again. His name is Alex Petro, a 35-year-old immigrant from Eastern Europe now living in Los Angeles. He's been charged with several traffic-related offenses, driving without a valid license, using fake insurance, and other routine violations that typically end in fines. But as Judge Frank Caprio begins reviewing the case, it becomes clear this situation is far more serious. These aren't just traffic violations. This case centers on an elderly woman who placed her trust in the wrong person. It's about a manipulator who disguised exploitation as business and deceit as charm. When that elderly woman takes the stand, her hands shaking as she recounts how Alex Petro shattered her life, everyone in the courtroom senses they're witnessing something uncommon, a con artist undone by his own arrogance. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe. 97% of viewers still haven't. This story shows why those who prey on the elderly deserve no leniency, and how Judge Caprio's brand of justice delivers swift and lasting impact. By the end of this hearing, you'll watch a confident smirk vanish, a luxury car get impounded, and a wronged woman finally receive justice from the man she once trusted like family. Here's the real question. What happens when a con artist meets a judge who can see through every lie? Alex Petro is about to find out. It's Tuesday morning, 10:15 a.m. At Providence Municipal Court. The bailiff announces the next case, Alex Petro, charged with driving without a valid license and presenting false insurance documents. A man in his mid-30s steps forward with unshakable confidence. He wears a tailored navy suit, crisp white shirt, and polished leather shoes. His dark hair is perfectly styled, his demeanor cool and composed, as if he's been here before. A Rolex glimmers on his wrist. Everything about him exudes wealth and confidence. But beneath that polish lies something else, a smile that never quite reaches his eyes, a relaxed posture in a courtroom that suggests he doesn't think any of this truly matters. Judge Caprio looks up, face composed. Judge Caprio. Good morning, Mr. Petro. Alex. Good morning, Your Honor. The accent is distinct, Eastern European, but softened by years in America. As Judge Caprio reviews the file before him, his expression turns serious. Judge Caprio, Mr. Petro, you're charged with operating a vehicle without a valid driver's license and providing fraudulent insurance documents to the police. Can you explain what happened? Alex's practiced smile remains. Alex. Your Honor, this is a misunderstanding. My license renewal was delayed because of paperwork issues related to immigration. As for the insurance, there was some confusion with my provider. Judge Caprio. A communication error? Alex. Yes, Your Honor. You know how it goes. Documents get misplaced, systems don't update correctly. It wasn't intentional. Judge Caprio's eyes narrow slightly. Something about this man's calm explanations doesn't sit right. Judge Caprio. Mr. Petro, this report says you've been driving without a valid license for 8 months. That's not a delay, it's a pattern. Alex. Your Honor, I've been trying to fix it. The DMV makes things very complicated for immigrants. Judge Caprio. Mr. Petro, I'm an Italian immigrant myself. I understand those challenges. But driving without a license for 8 months isn't a challenge, it's a decision. Alex's confident smile tightens. Alex. Of course. Your Honor, I take full responsibility. Judge Caprio flips through additional paperwork. Judge Caprio. Mr. Petro, there's another issue here. The car you were driving, a 2023 BMW 7 Series, is registered to someone else. A Mrs. Dorothy Walsh, age 78. Care to explain? Alex. She's my landlady, Your Honor. She lets me use her car. Judge Caprio. She lets you use her $70,000 car? Alex. She's very generous, Your Honor. We have a good relationship. Judge Caprio's instincts are now fully alert. Something about this story doesn't add up. He glances back at the documents. Judge Caprio. Mr. Petro, I'm also seeing employment records and wage complaints attached here. Judge Caprio, what's your occupation? Alex Petrov. I'm a caregiver, Your Honor. I assist elderly people with daily needs, appointments, and other routine tasks. Judge Caprio. And Mrs. Walsh is your client? Petrov. She was, Your Honor. Now she's more like family. The way he says family makes Judge Caprio's expression tighten. There's something unsettling in his casual tone. Judge Caprio. Mr. Petrov, I'm going to ask Mrs. Walsh to come forward. She's listed as a witness in this case. For a brief moment, Alex's confidence fades. Petrov, Your Honor. That won't be necessary. Mrs. Walsh is elderly and easily confused. Judge Caprio. She's here and able to testify. Mrs. Walsh. Please step forward. Subscribe to Judge Stories if you agree elder abuse is one of the most serious crimes imaginable. An elderly woman slowly makes her way to the witness stand. She's around 5 feet tall, frail, wearing a modest dress that's seen better days. Her hands tremble as she grips her walker, but her eyes, though anxious, remain alert. Judge Caprio. Mrs. Walsh, thank you for being here today. I know this isn't easy. Can you tell me about your relationship with Mr. Petrov? Dorothy Walsh. He came to me 2 years ago through an agency. He was supposed to help with groceries and drive me to appointments. My husband had just passed away and I needed assistance. Judge Caprio. And did he provide that help? Mrs. Walsh, at first, yes. He was polite, thoughtful. He said I reminded him of his grandmother in Ukraine and that he wanted to take care of me. Judge Caprio. That sounds kind. Dorothy's voice trembles. Mrs. Walsh. That's what I thought. Your Honor, I trusted him. I treated him like the grandson I never had. Judge Caprio. What changed? Mrs. Walsh. After about 6 months, he said he needed my help. He told me his apartment building was being sold and he had nowhere to go. I had a spare bedroom, so I let him stay. He said he'd pay rent. Judge Caprio, did he? Mrs. Walsh, the first month, yes. After that, there were always excuses. Issues with the bank, problems with clients, something new every time. I didn't press him because he was still helping me. Judge Caprio. Mrs. Walsh, how did Mr. Petrov come to be driving your car? Dorothy wipes her eyes before answering. Mrs. Walsh. He said his car broke down and that he needed mine to visit his other clients, to earn money and pay his rent. I felt guilty because he was staying with me, and I made him owe me money. So I told him he could borrow my car for a while. When was that? About a year ago, Your Honor. A year ago? And he's still using it? Yes, Your Honor. He keeps saying he's fixing his own car, but I've never seen him work on it. He won't return mine even when I have doctor's appointments. He drives me only when it suits him. Judge Caprio's expression hardens. Mrs. Walsh. These documents show you transferred your car title to Mr. Petrov. Do you recall signing that? Dorothy looks uneasy and afraid. He had me sign many papers. He said they were for insurance in case of emergencies. He told me it was to help me so he could handle things if something happened. Did you realize you were transferring ownership of your car? No, Your Honor. I didn't. My eyesight isn't good. He told me where to sign and I trusted him. Alex speaks from the podium, calm and confident. Your Honor, Mrs. Walsh wanted me to have the car. She was concerned about estate planning. Judge Caprio's tone sharpens. Mr. Petrov, you'll speak shortly. Right now, Mrs. Walsh is giving her testimony. He turns back to her. Mrs. Walsh, did Mr. Petrov have you sign other papers? Yes, Your Honor. Documents about my house and bank accounts. He said it was all for my protection. Judge Caprio pulls out more files. Mrs. Walsh, according to these records, you signed a power of attorney giving Mr. Petrov control of your finances. Do you remember doing that? He said it was just in case I became ill or unable to decide for myself, Your Honor. He said it was for my safety. Has he used that power of attorney? Dorothy's voice trembles. I believe so, Your Honor. My bank accounts are nearly empty now. I used to have savings from after my husband passed away. Now almost nothing is left. Have you asked Mr. Petrov about this? Yes, Your Honor. He claims I've been spending more than I think. He says the money went toward bills, rent, and car repairs, but I don't recall spending that much. And I'm frightened, Your Honor. I'm scared he'll take my home too. Judge Caprio's anger is evident, though his tone stays calm as he addresses Dorothy. Mrs. Walsh, why didn't you report this earlier? He asks gently. Because I was embarrassed, Your Honor, she replies. Ashamed that I let someone deceive me. That I trusted the wrong person. And I was afraid. Mr. Petrov has been kind at times, but when I ask questions, he becomes irritated. Not violent, just intimidating. I'm 78 and live alone. I didn't know how to handle it. Judge Caprio turns his attention to Alex, his voice now firm and cold. Mr. Petrov, I've heard Mrs. Walsh's statement. Now I want your side and I expect honesty. Alex remains composed, though his expression carries calculation. Your Honor, Mrs. Walsh is a kind woman, but she's elderly and sometimes gets mixed up. Everything I did was for her benefit. Stop, Judge Caprio interrupts sharply. Mrs. Walsh isn't confused, she's frightened. That's not the same thing. Your Honor, I've cared for her for 2 years, Alex insists. You've exploited her for 2 years, Caprio corrects. That's not fair, Alex protests. What's unfair, the judge counters, is taking advantage of a vulnerable elderly woman who trusted you. What's unfair is convincing her to sign away her property while pretending to help. Judge Caprio lifts a stack of papers. Let's go through this carefully. You had Mrs. Walsh sign over her car title. Why? Alex responds smoothly. She wanted to ensure I could manage things if anything happened to her. She didn't want to be a burden. That's odd, the judge replies, because Mrs. Walsh said she thought she was signing insurance papers, not transferring ownership. She might not recall clearly, Your Honor. She's 78. Her memory seems fine. Yours, however, seems conveniently selective. Caprio continues. You also had her sign a power of attorney, giving you financial control. According to bank statements, her savings dropped from $93,000 to under $4,000 in a year. Where did the money go, Mr. Petrov? To her care, Your Honor. Bills, expenses, house repairs. There's no record of major repairs, medical costs, or large bills, Caprio notes. Just steady withdrawals matching your personal spending. Designer clothes, fine dining, and luxury items. The insurance on that BMW you're driving. Shall I go on? Alex's confident front begins to crumble. Your Honor, I believe I should be compensated for my time. Compensated? You lived in her home rent-free. You were meant to pay her, not the other way around. She forgave my rent, she forgave it because you manipulated her. You made her feel guilty for asking what was rightfully hers, all while pretending you were helping her out of generosity. Judge Caprio's tone sharpens. Mr. Petrov, you took advantage of a vulnerable elderly woman. You earned her trust by pretending to care, then made yourself essential to her daily life. Until you slowly took her car, her savings, and almost her house, Your Honor. I object to that description. Your objection is noted and overruled. Let me ask you directly. Did Mrs. Walsh knowingly and willingly sign her assets over to you? Alex pauses, weighing his response. She signed the papers, Your Honor. That's not the question. Did she understand what she was signing? I explained everything to her clearly, in a way that an elderly woman with poor eyesight could grasp. Another pause. I gave her the general idea. The general idea? So you admit you didn't fully explain that she was transferring her car, financial control, and assets to you. Alex's charm fades, replaced by defensiveness. Your Honor, she trusted me to make sound choices. She trusted you, and you completely betrayed that trust. Don't forget to subscribe to Judge Stories for real cases where manipulators are exposed and victims find justice. Judge Caprio takes a steadying breath, visibly containing his frustration. Mr. Petrov, let me clarify something. This court usually deals with traffic violations. That's why you were cited. But what's come to light here goes far beyond that, Your Honor. I'm not done. You entered this courtroom confident, smiling, treating these charges like minor inconveniences. You assumed you'd pay a small fine and return to taking advantage of Mrs. Walsh. That's not the case. Judge Caprio begins delivering his rulings one after another. First, the BMW 7 Series registered under Mrs. Walsh's name, which you've been using, is ordered to be seized immediately. The title transfer you pressured Mrs. Walsh into signing is nullified as it was obtained through fraud and undue influence. Alex's expression turns pale. Your Honor, that's my car. That's Mrs. Walsh's car, replies the judge, and she's getting it back. Your Honor, I need that car for work. You should have thought of that before you took it unlawfully, the judge responds. Judge Caprio continues. Second, the power of attorney you acquired from Mrs. Walsh is revoked. You no longer have any legal control over her finances or decisions. Your Honor, she wanted me to help her, someone she trusted. You violated that trust. The authorization is withdrawn. Third, the judge adds, this matter is being referred to the District Attorney's Office for criminal investigation involving elder abuse, financial exploitation, and fraud. What you did to Mrs. Walsh is not only unethical, it's criminal. Alex tries to argue, Your Honor. This is an overreaction. Mrs. Walsh and I just had a misunderstanding we can resolve. There is no misunderstanding, Mr. Petrov, Judge Caprio states firmly. There is theft, exploitation, and elder abuse. These are crimes, not miscommunications. His tone grows more commanding. Fourth, you are ordered to vacate Mrs. Walsh's property immediately. You have 48 hours to remove your belongings. If you remain after that, you will be removed by police and charged with trespassing. Your Honor, where am I supposed to go? That's not my concern, replies the judge. You seem resourceful enough. You managed to deceive a 78-year-old woman. Fifth, Judge Caprio concludes, regarding Mrs. Walsh's drained bank accounts, you are required to present a complete record of every withdrawal or expense made from her accounts. The district attorney will review these records during the ongoing criminal investigation. Alex is clearly panicking now. Your Honor, I don't have that money anymore. The judge's response is firm. Then you're in serious trouble, aren't you? Judge Caprio delivers the verdict. Regarding Mrs. Walsh's debts, the money you claim to have spent for her, the rent you say she forgave, all of it is hereby voided. Mrs. Walsh owes you nothing. In fact, you owe her approximately $89,000, plus interest. Your Honor, I can't pay that, Alex pleads. Then you'll answer to the civil courts and possibly face prison, Caprio replies. But you will not take another cent from Mrs. Walsh. Turning to Dorothy Walsh, Judge Caprio's tone softens. Mrs. Walsh, I'm deeply sorry for what you've gone through. You did nothing wrong. You showed compassion to someone in need, and he took advantage of that kindness. That fault lies entirely with him. Dorothy wipes away tears. Thank you, Your Honor. I just want my car back and him out of my home. You'll have both, the judge assures her. Additionally, this court is referring you to elder advocacy services. They'll help secure your property, recover your finances, and make sure this never happens again. Thank you. Your Honor, she says quietly. Judge Caprio turns to the courtroom, his voice steady but filled with restrained anger. What we've seen today is a clear case of elder abuse. It's one of the most harmful crimes because it preys on those least able to defend themselves. Seniors who are lonely, trusting, and simply looking for kindness. Mr. Petrov represents a kind of predator that targets the elderly. Polite, helpful, and seemingly caring, all while slowly taking everything from them under the disguise of friendship and concern. He looks directly at Alex. Mr. Petrov, you walked into this courtroom confident, thinking you were clever, believing you had gotten away with it. You assumed this elderly woman wouldn't be believed, wouldn't fight back, or would stay silent out of shame. You were wrong on every count. Alex remains silent, visibly defeated. You asked Mrs. Walsh to trust you. And she did, Caprio continues. Trust is a privilege, Mr. Petrov. It's not a tool or a weapon. It's not something to twist for your own benefit. Trust is sacred, especially when it's given by someone vulnerable. Judge Caprio's final words cut deep. You've broken that trust. You've taken advantage of someone who treated you like family, and today you'll face the consequences of that betrayal. The judge lifts his gavel. All rulings are effective immediately. Mr. Petrov, hand over the BMW keys to the bailiff. Mrs. Walsh's car will be returned to her today. Alex hesitates, then takes the keys from his pocket and gives them to the bailiff. You have 48 hours to vacate Mrs. Walsh's property, the judge continues. The district attorney will contact you regarding criminal charges. This court is adjourned. The gavel strikes decisively. As Alex leaves the courtroom, his confidence and smile are gone. Meanwhile, Dorothy Walsh is surrounded by court advocates who immediately begin helping her protect her home and belongings. An older man approaches Judge Caprio. Your Honor, my mother went through something similar. She lost everything to someone like him. Thank you for standing up for Mrs. Walsh. Judge Caprio nods thoughtfully. I wish I could protect everyone, he replies. But at least today, one predator has been stopped. Subscribe to Judge Stories for more real moments where justice defends the vulnerable and those who exploit others are held accountable. Alex Petrov entered court full of confidence and charm. He left with his car confiscated, criminal charges pending, and no place to go. Dorothy Walsh walked in scared and humiliated, but left with her car restored, her home secured, and justice served. Judge Frank Caprio once again showed that some offenses warrant no leniency, that taking advantage of the elderly is inexcusable, and broken trust will not go unpunished. This is what happens when a manipulator faces real justice. when deceit is exposed and courage triumphs over exploitation.